got blue lights now, so it all be working. Everybody good? Yeah. Got me? Loud enough? Can you hear me way back there? All right, thumbs up, they said. All right. I'm going to read you something tonight. It's pretty familiar, and I've shared out of this place several times when I went other places, but I don't know that I've ever shared it here. If I have, it's been a good while ago, so it'll be all right. If you went with me places, you've heard some of this, but he always makes it new, so it'll be okay, all right? I'm going to be in Luke 19. You brought your Bible, Luke 19. This is a story about Zacchaeus. Remember Zacchaeus? When we was kids, we'd say Zacchaeus was a wee little man. Wee little man was he. Climbed up in the sycamore tree. Jesus he wanted to see. Is that how it goes? Is that all of it? I can't remember. It's been a while since I sang that. I was trying to think of it a while ago, but have you ever tried to think of a song while they're singing different songs? It's pretty near impossible. All right, Luke 19. You ready? It says he entered into Jericho. That's Jesus. Jesus entered into Jericho and was passing through. And there was a man called by the name of Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector, and he was rich. Zacchaeus was trying to see who Jesus was, but was unable because of the crowd, for he was small in stature. So he ran on ahead and climbed up into a sycamore tree in order to see him, for he was about to pass through that way. When Jesus came to the place, he looked up and said to him, Zacchaeus, hurry and come down, for today I must stay at your house. And he hurried and came down and received him gladly. When they saw it, that'd be the crowd. When they saw it, they all began to grumble, saying, he has gone to be the guest of a man who is a sinner. Zacchaeus stopped and said to the Lord, behold, Lord, half of my possessions I will give to the poor, and if I have defrauded anyone of anything, I will give back 4 times as much. And Jesus said to him, today salvation has come to this house, because he too is a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man has come to seek and to save that which was lost. All right? Oh, Zacchaeus. It says, Zacchaeus was trying to see who Jesus was and was unable because of the crowd. Now, I like this story because this is kind of my story. This is kind of my story right here. I never get tired of this because it's personal to me. It's my story because at one time, I'm convinced. I'm convinced. I don't know what you got going. I don't know what you've been through. I don't know what you came through. But I'm convinced, fully persuaded, that if there's some way possible, we could just see Jesus and see who he really is. Not who religion's painted him to be, but who he really is. If we could just see who he really is. There's no problems, there's no situations, there's no dilemmas that we could go through that could not be helped and could not be changed and could not be fixed by just beholding who he really is. He's something. He's awesome. I mean, we're not taking yet full benefit of who he really is because we're still trying to strip off a lot of the religion and a lot of the junk and a lot of the stuff that's been piled on him, and we're trying to sort some of that through in our minds and really grow. It's what we do here every week. If it's my lifelong passion now, my lifelong passion, I'm going to do it for the rest of my life. If I do nothing else, I'm going to try to bring this word to life to where anybody around could just see Jesus. Yeah. Says Zacchaeus was trying. He was trying to see Jesus, but couldn't because of the crowd. I know not just me. I talk to people every day nearly that are really honestly tried to see Jesus. We'd like to know Jesus. We even said a prayer when we was a kid. We even tried church, and we tried a different church, and we tried that church, and we just gave up on it. Why? Because of the crowd. Uh-oh. Struck something there. Trying to see Jesus, but couldn't because of the crowd. It says, for he was small in stature. Didn't measure up. Didn't measure up. He wasn't tall enough. He wasn't big enough. He didn't measure up. And because of the crowd that was around Jesus, he couldn't see who Jesus was, even though he was trying. Anybody ever not went because they didn't feel like they was good enough? And now listen to this. Here's where I was. So he ran on ahead. He ran on ahead and climbed up into a sycamore tree in order to see him. He thought, if I climb up into the sycamore tree, then I'll be able to see him. Then I'll be tall enough. Then I'll be high enough. Then I'll be able to see him. I'll measure up then if I get up in the sycamore tree. Well, I got to thinking about this sycamore tree. I've seen that sycamore tree, by the way. This time out just a second. Elvis took me to Israel one time, and we went to Jericho. There's trees over there. I don't know if it's the actual tree. They said it was. I don't know. But I did see trees there that are over 2,000 years old. And so we drove to there and they said, there's the sycamore tree. Anyway, I seen it. They said I seen it anyway, so who knows? It was like it anyway, all right? So, but I was thinking about that sycamore tree, and the sycamore tree is a type of fig tree. Sycamore tree is a fig tree. It's a breed of trees. Sycamore is a fig tree. And one of the things about this Bible, that there's kind of a rule in this Bible that anytime something's mentioned for the very first time, it's kind of connected from there on out. Anytime it's mentioned again, you can trace it back to that original first time. Law of first mention, some call it. So if this fig tree here, I can go all the way back to Genesis and see where the fig tree was first mentioned. It was first mentioned in the garden whenever Adam and Eve, they sinned and they fell and they got in trouble. You all remember the story. And so it says they ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Well, me personally, this is just Jason's idea. I feel like the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, what God told him to stay away from, I feel like it was a fig tree. Just me. They're right there at it. And then the next thing you know, they realize they're naked and they cover themselves with fig leaves. Well, if I'm right here at the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and I all of a sudden realize I'm naked and I want something to cover myself, I'm going to grab the first thing I can reach. So I just think it's a fig tree myself. You don't have to agree with that. And I'm not making that some fact. Just my own idea, right? So anyway, that knowledge of good and evil, that tree that God wanted them to stay away from, and as soon as they partook of that, they realized they're naked. Now they're trying to, in their own strength, in their own ways, in their own ideas, they're trying to cover their shortcomings. They're trying to cover up their mess up in their own. It's the birthplace of religion. What man can do in his own strength to try to cover himself so that he could be acceptable and pleasing in God's presence or in His sight. It's a fig tree. Sycamore tree. Zacchaeus didn't measure up and he didn't feel like he was good enough, and so he thought, if I can climb up into the sycamore tree, into the fig tree, into the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, then maybe I can see Jesus. Somebody knows what I'm talking about. The knowledge of good and evil. For me, that's what it was about most of my life. When we go to church and they say, hey, choose good, shun evil. If you'll stay with us, if you'll keep coming, get dedicated, and if you mess up, get rededicated, and just keep trying harder, and read your Bible more, and study more, and pray more, and keep coming more. Hey, 3 times a week, if not more. I'm not against all those things. All those things are good, but all those things are not it. And so you just say, hey, stay with us. Keep trying. Keep trying. Come on. You'll start choosing more good than evil. You'll get better at it. Come on. You'll learn to wear the right stuff. You'll learn to act and talk the right. You just get better over time at choosing good and less evil. If you live long enough, maybe that side of good will be far and outweighing that side. And I said, you know what? What's what religion's about. And I realized this, you know what? You could dedicate your whole life. You could become a monk or a nun or whatever else there is out there and think you're just doing a really good job at choosing good. It could be 99.9% good and 0.01% evil. And you know what I realized? You're still in the wrong tree. Right. Still in the wrong tree. Bunch of religious mess. I tell you another reason. Jesus come by one day and cursed the fig tree. said there's no fruit off you, and there'll never be fruit off you. You know what he's saying? There's no fruit that comes out of religion. There's no fruit that comes out of your works and what you think you can do, and you're choosing good, and your labors, and you're thinking you're something. Never be fruit from that. Here's what he said. When Jesus came to the place, that'll preach right there. When Jesus came to the place, oh my, I can take you to the place. Right over in my driveway, I can take you to the place where he looked up and seen me in the tree. I was wore out and give out. I climbed as high in that tree as I could get, and I was wore out, gave up, messed up. Jesus came to the place. He looked up and said to him, Zacchaeus, hurry and come down out of that tree. Hurry and come down out of that tree. What Jesus said, hey Zacchaeus, get out of it right now. Come on, that tree is... Then he said this, for today I must stay at your house. You know when I was in that tree? When I was in that tree, he's at my house on a good day. He wasn't at my house on my bad day. And then maybe I had a good day again. He's back at my house again. And then, Jason, not so good or maybe an hour. Hour I'm in, hour I'm out. But he said, when you get out of the tree, I'm coming to your house to stay. Is anybody glad they got out of the tree? Now they got your house to stay. You're not in that old wishy-washy, schizophrenic Christianity mess that we've been in. He's coming to stay, it says. My pages keep turning on me. Now listen to this. Here's the crowd again. For today I must stay at your house. And he hurried and came down. I'd say somebody going to hurry and come down tonight, wouldn't you? He hurried and came down and received him gladly. Received him gladly. Received him gladly. Now you know I've been on receiving lately. I've just been talking a lot lately about receiving. This says it received him gladly. Zacchaeus received him gladly. Received him. I thought about that right there. Received him. When you receive him, you receive everything. I mean, him. I could go on and on about receiving him, who him is. When you receive him, you receive everything. I mean, what is it you need? We talk about all kinds of stuff. You can talk about healing, but when you receive him, you receive healing. When you receive him, you receive everything that he has. It goes on to say that Jesus said he too is a son of Abraham. That means he's a descendant of Abraham. When you got born again, you're a descendant of Abraham. That means the blessing of Abraham is on you. You've received him. When you've received him, you've received peace. Peace. I'm telling you, that's valuable. Some of you need it. When you receive him, you receive peace. Jesus said like this, hey, my peace I leave with you. I'm not leaving it as the world gives. I'm leaving you my peace. The world's peace, now it'll cost you something. You got to pay for it, and there's side effects, and it'll cost you money, and it'll wear off, and you'll have to get some more. It's temporary. But my peace I'm leaving with you, he said. It's my peace, he said, passes all understanding. And Cowboy, turns out means this, you'll have peace where it don't even make sense.
Glory to God.
Storms going on all over you and around you and in you and everywhere else, and you just got peace. Right? You see him, you get strength. You get strength. You get courage. What do you need? I mean, receive him gladly. Verse 7 says, when they saw it. I remember that too. They all began to grumble, saying, he has gone to be the guest of a man who is a sinner. You know what, today, I didn't give you this before. I looked up the name Zacchaeus. The name Zacchaeus, you know, in the Bible, the names have more meaning today. We just named kids something. We like the sound of it. But back then, they named them because the names had meaning. It meant something. Zacchaeus' name, you know what it meant? Pure, clean, and innocent. Zacchaeus' name was pure, clean, and innocent. Oh, God. You'll get that later. Because the crowd said he's a sinner. The crowd said he's a sinner. But his name says that he's pure and he's clean and he's innocent. Well, guess what your name is now? He's gave you his name. When you received him, you got his name. Oh, I know, you might still have something in the crowd to say, look at you. They're still talking about it. They say that down there at that Cowboy church. They preach that grace all the time. They just say you can go live however you want to and sin don't matter. Oh, they just talking that stuff so they can go on sinning. Look here what the results were. Zacchaeus, Jesus called him, said, Zacchaeus, come down out of that tree. In other words, he said, hey, pure, clean, innocent, come down out of that tree. You're all ready. Oh, God. He said this, when they saw it, they all began to grumble, saying, he is going to be the guest of a man who is a sinner. But look what happened to Zacchaeus when he realized who he was, and he realized that he received him, and Jesus came into his life to stay. Look what happened. What happened? Zacchaeus stopped and said to the Lord, behold, Lord, half of my possessions I will give to the poor. And if I have defrauded anyone of anything, I will give back 4 times as much. And Jesus said to him, today salvation has come to this house, because he too is the son of Abraham. For the Son of Man has come to seek and to save that which is lost. You start realizing who you are, who Jesus has called you to be, and that he's coming to your house to stay, and that you can come on down out of that tree of trying to measure up and trying to be good enough and all that mess. I'm telling you, you'll go through more change than you ever thought possible. Here Zacchaeus was a tax collector, a cheat, a traitor, rich, cheated people for a living. He gets, I don't know how much time transpired, not much, I don't know how far he lived away, but they just walked to the house. In that amount of time, he's given half of what he has away. Don't tell me that partaking from the tree of life and spending time with Jesus and finding out who you really are, who he's called you to be, and who he's coming to your house to stay, produces more sin. Religion and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil produces sin. Paul said it. The strength of sin is the law. Paul said it in the Bible. Received him gladly. You know, my life has changed so much since I received him gladly. I received him when I was way younger, but I didn't receive him gladly because I was still in the tree. I saw him. I wanted him. I was trying hard to see who he was. I had all that, but I stayed in the tree. I fell out of the tree, broke my neck, went to heaven one day. But I was still in the tree. But then when I really heard him call my name and call me who he's really called me to be now, and I come down out of the tree and I receive him gladly. It's way better. I'm going to tell you, it's way better. When you receive him, you receive love. You receive love. You know that? You receive love. That's the most important thing you can receive, because if you know anything tonight, I want to tell you this, that he loves you.
Amen.
Even if you don't measure up. Because guess what? You don't.
Nobody does.
Neither do I. You ain't going to, you never will. But you'll come closer if you realize you don't have to, and you just take on the name and start becoming what it is he called you. And, oh man, it's good. I'm telling you, you receive love. When you receive him, you receive love. When you start receiving his kind of love, it will change your life. I have to practice it. I have to put it into play. You know, Kirk was here a few weeks ago. He taught me how to use this word. I've been using the word on myself, and I'm telling you, it's good. It's powerful. I think about it like John. You know, the Bible called John The disciple whom Jesus loved. The disciple whom Jesus loved. Just John. He didn't call the others. Now you know he loved the others. But the Bible calls John the disciple whom Jesus loved. Do you know that the only place that's recorded is in the book of John that John wrote? What's John doing? He's receiving him gladly. He's saying, I know, I'm not saying he don't love the other guys, but I'm making this thing personal. I'm the disciple that Jesus loved. And I'm taking it from John. John's off doing other stuff now. Jason's here now. I'm the disciple that Jesus loved. You got to make this thing personal. Receive him gladly. I'm telling you, I'm just saved up with it. Now, I'll say, I put it out this morning. I said this morning that Emma's playing softball, you know. You go up here to this ballparks and the kids are all wearing their red uniforms and all that. And Mom and Dad's got a t-shirt on that says, Father of this number, you know, or something like that. And I thought, if God was wearing a t-shirt, he'd say, that right there is mine. I'm talking about me. Y'all have to talk about yourself. I'm talking about me. He said, that boy is mine. That one right there, the one with the cowboy hat on and the Bible under his arm, that's my boy right there. I'm proud of him. I'm wearing his name on my shirt. I'm telling you, that's the way God looks at me. Look at him, he says. He walks, look at him. That's my boy. Huh? You guys better go sing. This morning's come up and down. He said, that's my boy right there. Look at him. Look at him. He's walking like me. He's talking like me. His heart's like me. That's my boy right there. Hey, his heart's getting like me. He's starting to hear he's starting to say what he hears me say. He's starting to do what he sees me do. Well, that's what Jesus was doing. Come on, receive him gladly. It's who he said you are. You can take that home personal. You don't have to do it right. All right, that's what I'm going to quit on. All right, I'm going to quit on this. Because, is anybody in here, who all in here, show of hands, who all in here is married? Most? Quite a few. If you ain't married, you at least got somebody serious, maybe, all right? Now listen to me. Listen to me. Now, you, some of these guys, you may not admit this, but I'll take one for you, all right? You guys may not admit this, but I'll tell you. You know, when I'm with Sarah and you all ain't around, I might act a little different. I might say some stuff that I wouldn't say with y'all around. Come on, is anybody here? I'm not the only one, am I? You might. You know what I mean? It's all right for you to get off somewhere by yourself with God and act like you wouldn't act. Good. Good, Jason. When the bunch is around. Good. Get out there with him somewhere by yourself. Talk to him. Receive him gladly. Say stuff to him that you wouldn't say in here in the crowd. I'm telling you, he'll fall all over himself getting on you. He'll show himself to you. He'll show his true self to you. Not that old religious stuff that we were trying to get shut up. His real self. So I'm going to quit. I love y'all.